Hey, what is going on, guys? It is Young here, and today I'm back in a Fortnite video, and in today's video, I'm going to give you guys some solo tips and tricks here for Season 9. I'm going to give you guys some tips and tricks on how to win more solo games, and I'll be talking about everything in this video, and I'm also going to be commentating over this video and fully explaining exactly what I was able to do to win this game. And before we get into the video, I have a weekly V-Buck giveaway. I'm going to be giving away V-Bucks every single Friday, and if you guys want a chance to win some free V-Bucks, all you guys need to do is to drop a like on this video. Make sure you guys subscribe to my channel and as well subscribe to my second channel. I post a ton of really good content on there, so make sure you guys do subscribe. Turn on my post notifications and as well leave a comment down below of your Xbox gamer tag, your PSN gamer tag, or Epic account. And if you guys would like to support me as a creator in the item shop, all you have to do is go over to the item shop, go into the bottom right hand corner, support a creator, and type in my code. My code is Young Humor. Type it in and you guys will have me support it as a creator. And alright guys, let's get right to the video. Alright, so in this video, I'm going to be going through and talking about step by step and exactly what I did in this game specifically that allowed me to win and just completely dominate in this game. So starting off in this game, I landed at Paradise Palms, and Paradise Palms has been one of my favorite places to land at for a few reasons, and one of those reasons, it just has really good loot. There's plenty of spots to get loot from. There's coconuts that fall from the tree, so you can get, it's pretty much the equivalent of mushrooms, so you can find plenty of those. So most of the time I'm walking out with full shield, a good amount of HP, everything like that. And on top of that, there's also a good amount of people who land here surprisingly, and that's just something that I noticed here in Season 9, the season before, Season 8. I feel like it wasn't really that popular of a drop. If the bus was right over it, of course you might have maybe 3 or 4 people that come here. But for whatever reason, recently I've been walking out of Paradise Palms usually with like 6 or 7 kills. I've even had games where I've had above 8 kills. Literally just today I've had a game like that. So I've had a lot of crazy starts coming from this area, and by coming to this area I can definitely drop a 20 bomb if I wanted to, because there's just so many people that come here, which is honestly surprising considering it's at the corner of the map, and it's really not like a super popular place for any specific reason. But I just feel like a lot of people are coming here game after game, especially in duos. In this solo game, I think only one person came here, so it really wasn't that crowded. I was looting up for the majority of the beginning of the game, and whenever I'm in this store like this, there's no one here. Even before I push another team, I'm gonna decide how many mats I want to have, or basically how much loot that I want to have before I go and push another team. Of course, like this, I'm not gonna go and push a team right away. I'm gonna want to find some shield and find a good amount of mats. And usually for me, at least as long as I have above like 350 to 400 materials, that's usually good enough to push another team pretty comfortably. Even if I get into a little bit of a build fight, it's not gonna be that big of a deal unless it's super dragged out. So as long as I'm not into a crazy gunfight, usually, like I said, about 350 to 400 materials is usually good enough for me to start challenging other players and feel comfortable doing so. And also another really good reason why I like coming to this location, because there's going to be rifts that you can use to rotate to the next zone. I think those are very efficient, and usually when I rotate to the next zone, usually the zone is by Salty, but if it's not, then more times than not I rotate over to Retail, pick off a team or two, and then I rotate over to Salty. So one thing that I wanted to talk about really quick in the new item they added in the game, I'm not sure really exactly what the name of it is, but it's the item that you throw that creates the storm, the zone that lasts probably, I don't remember exactly what the timing is, but it lasts like 20 to 30 seconds, and this item is really a game changer. And item can be especially crucial in a game like Arena Mode. I haven't played Arena yet since it came out. It only came out today, but I can only imagine how bad it is in the end game when someone's throwing that all over the place. But that item can be used very efficiently and very effectively, because if someone's in a building, it creates a big enough space where it covers up the entire building. And this could be very effective if someone's camping in a building not coming out, camping in a bunch of 1x1s, something like that. You throw one of those items at them, and there's pretty much nothing they can do but have to run out of that box and into a new area. It's not like a really small zone, it's a pretty decent sized zone, which means if someone throws that item right next to you, you're gonna have to move a pretty big a ways. And if it's in a game mode like Solo Arena, that can be very crucial in the end game if you're trying to make a play on another player. Maybe you're playing a little bit slower, and just because of how small the zone is, if someone throws one of those at you, it's going to be very hard to maneuver out of it without taking a ton of damage or end up dying. So that's why that item can be such a game changer. I don't really know exactly how I feel about it yet, but in public matches, the end zone really doesn't come down to something like that. It's not as bad, but in a game, but in Arena and competitive competitive Fortnite, that could be such a game changer, and I can imagine a lot of people holding on to that item in the late game. And since it is a new item, the spawn drop of that item, for those guys who don't know, pretty much every single time Epic releases a new item, the spawn drop of that item, the spawn rate of that item is much increased. And then after a little bit, after the item's been out for a decent amount of time, maybe like a week or so, they're going to drop the spawn rate down to what it should have been the first time. So that's just something that's really something to keep in mind, because Epic is constantly changing the game, adding new items. So if you guys didn't know, every single time they add a new item, the spawn drop of that item is going to be increased, and which is just something that you guys just have to know about. And so one thing that I did a ton in this game you guys are going to see, and for those of you guys who watched my video before, and for those guys who haven't, I'd highly recommend checking it out. It was called 3 Pro Tips, and in that video I showed the one thing that Ghost Aiden was doing in the qualifiers in the World Cup. He was basically found something out that you can take any wall and just make it your own. I don't really know how long it's going to be in the game for, but it's something that I did in this game, and I think I got about 3 or 4 kills doing so. It's basically, long story short, I made in my video like a full detailed exactly how to do it, but basically if someone's holding the wall, you get it down to 1 shot with your weapon. Then you can pull out your shotgun or whatever weapon, but it works best with a shotgun. You pull out your shotgun, you shoot the wall at the exact same time that you place yours, and it's going to allow you to grab the wall every single time, even if they're turbo building, have better ping, whatever the case may be. So that is going to be a super cheese move, and something you guys have to learn and know how to do, just to be just an overall crazy. It's not really that fair, it's super cheese, but at the same time, if it's in the game, it's in the game, so it's something that you guys should learn while it's still in the game. And so I'm going up on this player. Watch exactly how I approach this gunfight. And of course I messed up my build, and definitely this player wasn't the best of players, but as you can see, I did a few things that were really unexpected. Even though he wasn't that good of a player, it completely caught him off guard. So the first time I jumped off the left side, which usually when people are ramping up, they're going to be ramping up straight. So in this could really work on against, any sort of player, any sort of skill level, even if they're a really good player. If you're ramping up and then as you're ramping up, you peek off the left or right side. Usually I like to peek off the right side because you have a better angle. When you're ramping up, you peek off that right side and you go for a shot, and this is really going to throw off the other player, because if you're just ramping up, more times than not, 90% of the time, people who are ramping up, they're just going to be ramping up till they get high ground before they even go for a shot. So if you go for a peek shot or any type of shot while you're ramping up at the same time, it's going to throw off a lot of players, and it's going to catch them off guard, and it's going to allow you to get a open shot. So doing unexpected things like that, or really anything that's unexpected, and the best way to do it is, like I said, going for peek shots when you're ramping up, going for shots pretty much every single opportunity that you have. Even if it's just a small opportunity, you're only gonna hit for like 20 damage. Doing any sort of damage is always better than doing no damage. So that's what I'd highly recommend, doing any sort of possible opportunity. Peeks, cheeky peeks are on the left or right side. Even if it's a really tight angle, always trying to go for those shots is gonna play a huge role, and just gonna allow you to get such an advantage in that fight. Because even if you are hitting for 20 damage, a lot of the times, and even in the new Season 9, they changed it how the damage works. So when you get shot, it basically looks like your entire HP goes off, because there's a red mark that on your health bar, and usually it only goes red when you're already on your white HP. If you have shield, it never did this. So if you get attacked for 20 damage, even if you do get shot for 20 damage, you really can't tell exactly how much HP you lose. And when it comes to the weapon, like the combat shotgun has such range, so even if you get shot from a decent amount of range of that weapon, you really have no idea how much HP you lost. In the middle of a gunfight, you're not going to have time to look down and see how much HP you have. So even if you get like a 20 damage hit, a 30 damage hit, it's still going to give you a huge advantage, because the other player isn't going to have time to look at their HP, and it's just really going to make them panic, and you're going to have such an advantage in that fight. And also another really good way to get other players to get really quick kills is to use something called baiting, and that's exactly what I did here. The player knew I was right above him, I saw him straight through the cone, and I pretty much pretended to reload my sniper rifle in order for him to go for an edit, because otherwise he would just sat there with his turbo build, and I would have gone either way for the edit play, or basically the wall replace that was kind of cheese that I was talking about earlier. I would win for it anyway, and that's exactly what I did in the player here. But basically I really just baited him to try to make a play, and since the player wasn't very fast, I probably wasn't on a keyboard and mouse, and I saw him go for the edit, and I basically had more than enough time to pull up my shotgun and just have my shot already lined up by the time he edited it, which gave me a really easy kill on that player. And this is exactly what I was talking about. There's absolutely nothing that player can do about it, and a lot of players aren't using this as much as they should. I got control though. While that guy was just sitting there holding turbo build, he had absolutely no idea I took his wall. went for a quick window edit and I killed him. Probably was really upset, probably said I had like 0 ping, but I was able to get a really easy kill because I absolutely just cheesed the player right there with that wall edit. And with that being said, that's wrap it up for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, hope you guys liked it, and if you guys could drop a like on this video, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, turn on my notifications so you're notified for every single new video, and alright guys, I'll see you in the next video.